Hostage, a Todd Mills mystery, book 3 in the series. Arthur R.D. Zimmerman, publisher, Scribble Pub. Narrator, Eric Aust. Chapter 24. They took Matthew's vehicle and Rawlins drove, and the first thing they did was drop off a large manila envelope containing the videotape. The second was to head all the way out here and park just outside this huge box of a building. As they climbed out of the van, a 747 roared overhead as it descended so low that all other sounds were drowned out. Having entered a rear door of the large structure, they now walked along, Rawlins all but oblivious to the gun stuck at his side. He did exactly as he was told, for he was a willing hostage. Or, better yet, a listless one. And he turned one corner, another, then proceeded down a narrow hall, just as Matthew ordered. When they reached a door with a keypad mounted up to the side, Matthew punched in the combination, swung open the door, and said, "Welcome to the bowels of capitalism." "So where are we going?" inquired Rawlins. "Down, down, down, someplace no one would ever think of looking. Yet at the same time, someplace so incredibly obvious. You'll see, it's the one place I hate most in these United States of America." Matthew grinned. "I worked out here for a while." "Really?" "Yeah, my modeling days were over, but it was before I got really sick. I needed a job, and actually it was the only place that would hire me. Granted, it was only a McJob, a minimum wage deal, but I needed something." He needled Rawlins with a gun, shoving him down the first set of stairs. "Keep going." "Why?" "Because I told you to, asshole, and I have a gun." "No, I mean, why did you do something as extreme as kidnap someone? Why not give out red ribbons?" Matthew laughed. "Or t-shirts or posters or coffee mugs with AIDS slogans, so that people are reminded each and every day that something big and nasty is lurking out there in lots of bodily fluids?" "I could have done that, or organized something like the Salvation Army. And that thought did occur to me, Nice faggots, ringing little fairy bells on street corners, asking for donations to help the sick homos. But the problem is only partially tied to lack of funds. The real problem, you see, is here." He continued, tapping his shaved head. "People in America believe in good and evil, white and black, capitalist and commie, straight and gay. But the problem with AIDS is ever so much more complex. For example, some people like Johnny Clarendon, are even saying the epidemic is over. First they ignored it, then they blamed it on faggot immorality, and now they say it's over. I say bullshit. Sure, some guys are taking these new drugs, and they seem to be getting better, if they're lucky enough to get them in time, but that might only last a year or two. And then what? What if AIDS mutates around all the meds and turns into some sort of supervirus that nothing can control? No, it's way too early to slap a smiley face on this one." "Matthew, shit, do you realize that only about 1/10 of infected Americans can get these new drugs? It kind of makes you wonder about the other 30 million people on this planet with HIV. I mean, how many people in Africa or Asia do you think are able to get any of these cocktails?" "Matthew," interrupted Rawlins, "you'll never get away with this." "I'm not looking to get away with anything. I'm looking to prove a point, and the point is that one battle is being won. Yes, progress has been made, but the war is far from over. If Johnny Clarendon really thinks AIDS is manageable, then let him manage it himself. Then we'll see how he justifies cutting both research and subsidies to people who can't afford the drugs that are out there now. It's ridiculous, fucking ridiculous." Matthew was beyond desperate, Rawlins knew, and that made him the most dangerous sort of perpetrator. "Maybe, though I should just give you my gun, my dear Mr. Rawlins, and then you can fire away and be the big hero. Trust me, I'd be delighted to have a quick ticket off this planet." With his pistol, he shoved Rawlins downward. "Keep going." "So you've been planning this for a long time? And here I thought you were the token queer on the police force, when instead you're a brilliant dick," laughed Matthew. "But yes, I've been working on this for months. I've been alone a lot lately, so I've had a lot of time to ponder the meanings of life and death and revenge. You see, I kept getting KS lesions on my face and scalp, and I just didn't want to see anyone. Call me vain, but I was used to people oogling me for my beauty, not staring at my oozing sores. So I worked out here in the land of the living dead as a janitor for, 4 or 5 months, from 11 at night to 7 in the morning. After all, the nice, decent people went home to their safe suburban homes. I came out here like the hunchback of Notre Dame and swept up after them. Frankly, I hate the suburbs. It's just so artificial, all of it. As they started down another flight, Rawlins said, "So far, I haven't really disagreed with anything you said. Or probably done either. I'm just acting out every queer's fantasy." With a nudge, Matthew pushed him along. "Just keep going down and again. Don't do anything stupid." "I already did. I slept with you." "Come on, you stud. You wanted it." "Yeah, but it wasn't worth dying for." "Say," Matthew said snidely, "when this is all over, you could open up an aid store in one of the malls, or maybe just a little kiosk. You know, one of those little carts or something. You could sell little red ribbons and CDs and posters and then donate all the profits to research or hospice. Wouldn't that be sweet and meaningful?" "Yeah, except I doubt any of the malls would want something like that." "Oh, very good. You're catching on quickly." Matthew steered Rawlins down a final flight. "We're almost there." Altogether, they descended at least 3 levels, burrowing deeper and deeper on a journey that would have been like sinking into the cavernous chambers beneath the Phantom's Opera house, except that this was all fresh and white, evenly lit and perfectly laid out. Reaching the bottom, Matthew upped the pace, shoving Rawlins past some plastic dumpsters, then down another hall to a large empty room. "Here it is, home sweet home," said Matthew, who led the way across the room to a plain metal door in which he knocked twice, paused, then knocked 2 more times. Maybe Rawlins thought as he stood there, these guys were right. When prominent political figures not only marginalized a group of people and a horrible disease, but used both of them as a platform for social division and political gain. What choices did that leave you? How could you fight back against such hate? Then again, what difference did it make? As clearly as he recalled the history of friends like Kurt Rawlins, saw his own bleak future. When the door failed to open, Matthew shook his head, then repeated his sequence of knocks. When that still didn't produce any results, Matthew's face flushed red, and he started banging with his fist. "Elliot, you fool, it's me! Open up the goddamn door!" Rawlins heard nothing, not a voice or a single step from behind the locked door. Then, breaking the silence, came a distinct sob, a sharp one at that, followed by nothing. "Aw, shit," muttered Matthew, who then started pounding on the door. "Elliot! Elliot, you fag! Open up the fucking door!" "Matthew! Matthew!" "This guy," moaned Matthew to Rawlins, "is such a drama queen." From behind the door came the sound of a few steps, and then Elliot calling, "Matthew, you're too late." "What?" "She's..." began Elliot, who then dissolved into tears. "Oh, fuck. What is it now?" Matthew started beating on the door. "Open the fuck up." "Tina's..." There was a click of a bolt as the door was unlocked, and then the door was cracked open, and a skinny, knobby man stood there, his red face streaked with tears. In spite of that, and his sickly appearance, Rawlins recognized him at once, having met him a number of times at Kurt's. Peering out of the partially open door, Elliot eyed Rawlins, stopped crying for a moment, and replied, "What in the hell are you doing here?" He sniffled and wiped his eyes. "Are there more of you cops out there? Let's just say I was persuaded to come." Matthew pushed forward, shoving the door open and saying, "Elliot, get out of the..." Rawlins had visited any number of crime scenes. He'd seen any number of bodies, and you could always tell death by the stillness as much as the smell, both of which were confirmed by the woman's body in the bathroom doorway. She's dead," said Elliot, choking on his tears. "Ah, Jesus," mumbled Matthew, rushing across the room and dropping to his knees by Tina's side. "I did what I could." "Oh, Tina..." "Honest, Matthew, I tried to help her. I was making her something to drink, and she was in the bathroom. She must have stood up and passed out and hit her head. I heard this crash, and I went over. She'd fallen. There was a big gash on her head. I tried to do something, but she was already dead, and..." Elliot started sobbing. "Oh, God, what's going to happen to us now? What are we going to do? This is it. We're done. It's over." Drawn by the horror of it, Rawlins stepped in, his eyes focused on the body. Was this the way he was going to croak in some overlooked corner of the world? He glanced to the side, observing the boxes of food and supplies, the clothing and the streaks of blood coming from the bathroom. Hearing someone call out, Rawlins turned, saw a closed door. Was Clarendon in there? Matthew, I'm sorry. There wasn't anything I could do. I wanted to. Shut up, you idiot, shouted Matthew, taking Tina's limp hand in his. But what's going to happen? I don't know. Elliot, his eyes small and pained, turned to Rawlins, grabbing him by one arm and begging, Should we turn ourselves in? Do you think that would be a good idea? But what will the police do to us? Do you think they'll hurt us? Oh, God, maybe we should just kill ourselves. We could let Clarendon go and then... Well, what do you think, Rawlins? He shrugged. I don't care. Come on, tell us what to do. Should we call the cops? Should we? Matthew was back on his feet, whipping his gun around, jamming it against Elliot's head and shouting, If you don't shut the fuck up, right this second, I'm going to kill you, myself. Elliot squished his eyes shut and pleading, his voice shaking. Go ahead, do it right now, kill me, I can't take this anymore. Seeing the fury in Matthew's face, Rawlins pulled back, certain that Matthew was about to blow Elliot's brains all over the room. But that moment went as quickly as it had developed. Oh, shit, said Matthew, lowering the gun. Do it, you coward, shouted Elliot. Fuck off. When Matthew turned away and rubbed his forehead with one hand, Rawlins thought this was it, his chance to turn and walk out of here. The door was still partly open. He could make a dash for it. But why? Even if he somehow managed to get away, even if Matthew didn't come chasing after him and gun him down, where would he go? What would he do? Where would he, in the greater picture, hide? That's right, he thought, unable to see hope or refuge of any kind. He was infected with HIV. And from day on, there would never be any certainty again in his life. After all, even a minuscule cold germ was now potentially as deadly as poison. Behind him, Matthew ordered, Shut the door and lock it. Of course, replied a defeated Rawlins, feeling as if he were switching sides. Like I said, I really don't disagree with what you've been saying. A Gay Mysteries audiobooks. I think it is easy to hate a label, but a face humanizes the word. So this effort is twofold. To offer comfort to those like myself that your world didn't end because you don't fit into the view of acceptable society on both sides. And in hopes of helping those with family that are LGBTQ, that it doesn't mean we are aliens from the child they once knew. Reassure them so they can maybe be supportive at the same time, being true to their values.